Hey guys, Mike the Caveman Kuhn here from Paleo Primal Long Island and MikeTheCaveman.com, and we have here's our first installment of Ask Mike the Caveman, and I've been threatening to do this for at least a year now, and what I'm going to be doing is this will be a series where I'll be answering some common questions I get. If you have one you want to submit yourself, make sure you either let me know by Facebook, through Instagram, Twitter. Put a hashtag Ask Mike the Caveman on there and, get a hold of me. So this one comes from my good friend Joe the Saint in the Maya, and he had a question regarding the importance of grass-fed dairy. Now, when it comes to dairy, there are a number of factors to consider. Dairy itself is made up of four that is, main parts, okay? There's the milk fat, there is the milk sugar, the lactose, and there are the two dietary proteins, okay? There's the casein and the whey. Now, there's some subdivisions between that, but for the most part, casein, whey, lactose, and milk fat, those are the four main components. Now, Northern Europeans tend to do better on dairy. They've had longer exposure to it. Living at higher latitudes during cold winter months when there was no access to vegetation, they had to adapt to using dairy. As such, lactose tolerance, which actually is the abnormal factor, is more common. On average, Africans have a 75% lactose intolerance rate, whereas Asians have a 90% lactose intolerance. Just haven't had the exposure. So, if you're European, you could probably do pretty well with dairy, whereas other ethnicities probably won't do as well. So, you tolerate dairy. So, what should you be choosing? Well, it should be full fat, organic, and grass-fed. Ideally raw, but a lot of states don't allow that, so provided you're in New York like I am, you're going to want to go with the best quality you can. Unhomogenized you can get, grass-fed, like we said. Why? Why is that so important? People see organic, and they'll see just conventional raised, Land O'Lakes or Breakstone or something to that effect if we're talking butter. Why is that grass-fed so much better? Well, it's going to be higher in CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid. It's also going to be higher in butyric acid. Okay, so why is that important? Well, conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, you can run over to Vitamin Shop, GNC, Vitamin World, any supplement store, and you can go onto that shelf, go into the fat burning aisle, and you can pick up CLA. The reason why? It has activity that can help burn fat, build muscle, and actually maybe be anti-cancer. Okay? When you have grass-fed dairy, well, the levels of CLA are actually higher. Same thing with grass-fed ruminants, cows, lamb, bison, buffalo, elk, all that stuff. Anything that eats grass, when it actually eats the grass, it ends up being healthier. Crazy concept, I know. Feed the animals the right thing, and they have a better fatty acid profile. So, you get more CLA. You can help burn some fat, build some muscle, fight some cancer. Okay? If we're talking butyric acid, now that one's special because that's a major fuel source for your intestine cells. Okay? The walls of your intestines use butyrate or butyric acid as their main fuel source. Now, where do we normally get that? Well, when you eat dietary fiber, the bacteria in your gut, they ferment that fiber and they produce butyric acid, amongst other things. But that butyric acid is then used by the cells to help keep them healthy. It's one of the main reasons why fiber can be shown to prevent colon cancer. Okay, increased fiber results in increased butyric acid. Now, it's an endogenous or created inside the body source. If, however, you go and use grass-fed dairy, particularly butter, ghee, heavy cream, what you're going to do is you're going to be getting much higher levels of butyric acid, okay? Butyric acid is called as such because it comes from the Latin word for butter, which was butyr, okay? It was named because that was the first place we isolated butyric acid. So, you can either get an exogenous or dietary source through the grass-fed dairy, or you can eat some more fiber, fibrous vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Those are all great ideas. Get some fiber from there, add some grass-fed butter on top, and you're going to be killing it with the butyric acid. Okay, so when we're talking about grass-fed animals, if you have a particular dairy source that's actually designating itself as grass-fed, if they're certifying that it's grass-fed, that usually means they're going through the extra steps to make sure that the animal was treated properly. Here in the United States, the farmers get subsidies to feed them grains, okay? If they're going out of their way to actually raise these animals on pasture, if they're only feeding them grass, odds are they're taking the necessary steps to ensure the health of the animal overall. They're not giving it antibiotics. They're not going to be giving it pesticide-laden grain, you know? So it's not going to be absorbing all those toxins. Most antibiotics in this country are given to the animals. And as such, when we eat them, we absorb those antibiotics, and it's contributed greatly to the antibiotic-resistant problem we have, the epidemic we have. Grass-fed animal, you're going to have, generally, antibiotic-free. It's not going to be fed grain, so you're going to get better fatty acid profile, more of that CLA, that butyric acid we're talking about. It's not going to have the hormones in it. So toxin load overall is not going to be bad. Just like we store toxins in our fat, animals do the same. So that's where the low-fat craze becomes important. Okay, for the last 40 years, we've been recommending low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat. We're finally starting to see the wheels turn on that. Okay, we're finally starting to admit that fat is not necessarily the enemy. Improper fat is the enemy. Okay, if you're using grain-fed animals, you're getting more omega-6. Okay, you're getting a less omega-3. And the two we mentioned before, the two big ones, the CLA and the butyric acid. So with the increase in the CLA, the butyric acid, the increase in omega-3s, the decrease in omega-6s, you're setting yourself up for less inflammation, okay? Inflammation is the heart of many, many diseases. So you're setting up for less inflammation, less of a toxic load, and you're providing your body with nutrients that will help to actually repair itself and to set yourself up to look better, feel better, and perform better. So that's going to end it right here for our first segment of Ask Mike the Caveman. Make sure to put your questions in the comments or shoot them out to me directly. You know, you can find me at Mike the Caveman on Instagram, Twitter. You can find me at MikeTheCaveman.com or at Paleo Primal Long Island on Facebook. All right, guys, see you next time.